Hey, let's stand and sing Unbelievable. Let's clap.
When the sun comes up in the morning light, till the day is done and I close my eyes, you're everything I need, you never leave my side. You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable.
Let's clap.
You saved my soul when you rescued me. You give me life and you bring me peace. You're the one I lean on. You're the strength I need. You're unbelievable.
Whoa!
You're always with me. You're faithful and you're strong. Your love is amazing. You're unbelievable.
Let's clap.
From the start of time, I was in your plan. Just like the whole wide world, you hold me in your hands. Your love is so big, I'll never understand.
You're unbelievable.
You're always with me. You're faithful and you're strong. Your love is amazing. You're unbelievable.
Whoa!
Even in the darkness, your light is around us. Your grace is unstoppable. You're unbelievable.
Your light.
Your light shines brighter than the sun. Your name is higher than anyone. We give you thanks for all you've done, Jesus.
Your light.
Your light shines brighter than the sun. Your name is higher than anyone. We give you thanks for all you've done,
Jesus.
Jesus.
Whoa!
You're always with me. You're faithful and you're strong. Your love is amazing. You're unbelievable. Even in the darkness, your light is around us. Grace is unstoppable. You're unbelievable.
Hey everyone, would you stand and sing with us, Lift Him High? Let's put our hands together. Sing Our Journey.
Our journey, a firm foundation. Our lives are a loud declaration. To Jesus we give our devotion. We live out our lives as an
We will both.
We will boast in
Lift him high.
Lift him high.
Shout it out.
We lift him high.
As loud as you can.
We lift him
Hey, good morning, Club 252. I am so glad you are joining us today because we are continuing our series called Dreamer. Throughout the past few weeks, we've learned about someone who had dreams but didn't really see them come true until the very last page of his story. We are learning how Joseph had to go through a lot of things that weren't always good. And I think most of us would have probably given up, but not our boy Joseph. Joseph followed God the whole way through. And our big answer is going to get us started today. If you don't know what the big answer is the answer to the big question, the one you get from the important adult in your life. And that is, what did you learn in Club 252 today? And our big answer today is, I help others because Jesus helped me. And our memory verse talks about this, and it comes from the book of John. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. John 13:35. But before we keep going, it's Bible story time. We've been learning about Joseph, and today we are continuing that in our story. Check it out.
It's time for a Bible story.
The Story of Joseph, Part 3.
Do you need another refresher to get you caught up to speed on what happened last time?
Nah, man, I got this. Check it out. I'm gonna do a rapid fire recap. Ready, go. Joseph had 11 brothers and they were jerks. And then he had some dreams where everything was bowing down to him and his brothers threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery. And then he worked for Potiphar, and then Potiphar's wife was a big jerkface and lied about him and threw him into jail. Boom.
Wow, that was actually pretty impressive. And yes, that's exactly where our story picks up. Joseph was wrongfully accused and thrown into jail, but it wasn't just a regular jail. This was a prison where all of the king's prisoners were sent, so it was extra secure. There is no way anyone was getting out of this place.
Yeesh. So I guess that's about it for old Joseph, huh? Well, it was fun while it lasted. The end.
No way, man. This is totally not the end of the story. Even though it looked like his situation was getting worse, the Lord gave Joseph great favor with everyone around him. The guards liked Joseph so much that they let him help out around the prison. They didn't even lock him up.
Whoa, that's crazy. So that's what you mean when you were saying that through this whole deal, the Lord was with him?
You bet. Because Joseph had a great attitude, was respectful, and cared about other people, his time spent in prison wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. In fact, Joseph was so good at noticing people around him and going out of his way to care about them that one day, something happened that would change his life big time.
Oh yeah, you said last time there was this big thing coming up. Is this it?
Yep.
And you're not gonna get me with another to be continued, are you?
Well, I'll let you know next time. To be continued.
Ah, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I was just joking. We're not done yet.
Whew, thank goodness. Really got me good there. So what happened?
Since this prison was where all of the king's prisoners were sent, there were two men that used to work directly for the Pharaoh. One was a baker, the other was a cupbearer.
Wait, a cup bearer? His job was to put bears in cups? That sounds hard. You gotta either have some big old cups or some tiny bears.
No, he wasn't a bear cupper, he was a cup bearer. That meant that he would serve drinks to the Pharaoh in a cup.
Gotcha. That makes more sense. So these guys were in jail, huh?
Yep. Since Joseph was in charge of the prison, the guards assigned these two guys to him. Then, one night, both the baker and the cupbearer each had some pretty strange dreams.
Oh boy, here we go again with the dreams. Oh, speaking of dreams, last night I had this crazy dream where my ears turned into chili dogs.
No! I don't want to hear any more about your crazy dreams. We're talking about their dreams. The next day, Joseph could tell that something was bothering them. Both the cupbearer and the baker looked like they didn't sleep very well and were all stressed out.
Well, I mean, they are in prison, not exactly a stress-free environment.
Yeah, but this was different. Joseph was very good at noticing people around him and caring about them. So he asked them what was bothering them. They told him that they had some very strange dreams, but didn't know what they meant.
I know what my dream meant, that I shouldn't eat chili cheese dogs right before I go to sleep.
Well, that's true. But when Joseph heard that they were troubled by their dreams, he thought of something. Back home, God helped Joseph understand what his dreams meant, so he offered to help interpret the dreams of the baker and the cupbearer.
Hey, look at that! Joseph's in jail. These guys go there too. Joseph can interpret dreams. These guys have dreams that need to be interpreted. You weren't kidding about God having a plan for Joseph's life, huh?
Exactly. The cupbearer and the baker both told Joseph what their dreams were, and God revealed to Joseph what those dreams meant. The cupbearer's dream was about a vine and 3 branches that sprouted grapes, and he squeezed those grapes into the Pharaoh's cup. Joseph told him what that meant, that in 3 days he would be released and would go back to his job serving drinks to the Pharaoh.
Good for him! That's awesome! So what about the baker's dream?
In the baker's dream, there were 3 baskets of bread sitting on top of his head. A bunch of birds flew up and started eating out of one of them. Unfortunately, Joseph told him that this meant that in 3 days, the Pharaoh would have him killed.
Yikes! Classic case of the old good news, bad news, huh? Did those things come true?
They sure did. 3 days later, the cupbearer was restored back to his job, and the baker was, well, let's just say he sleeps with the fishes.
What? Gross. Why would you sleep in a pile of fish? Ugh, that would smell terrible.
No, like, he took a dirt nap.
Wait, now he's sleeping in the dirt? I mean, that's better than a pile of fish, but still, just sleep in a bed, dude.
No, he died.
Oh, gotcha. Took a double dip out of the old cosmic cookie jar, huh?
Yeah, that's not a phrase. Never mind.
So what happened next? Those guys just left and Joseph stayed in jail?
Not exactly. Before the cupbearer left, Joseph asked him to tell the Pharaoh about his situation, that he was wrongfully accused of something that he didn't do and thrown into jail.
Oh, awesome. This is his chance to get set free. Did the cupbearer remember to tell the Pharaoh about him?
No, he forgot.
What? You gotta be joking me. So Joseph just stays in prison? Bummer.
He did for a while, but not forever. 2 years after the cupbearer was released, something happened with Pharaoh. He had some strange dreams and didn't know what they meant. It really bothered him.
Hey, this sounds familiar. Someone had a strange dream that needs to be interpreted. Who you gonna call? Dream Buster!
The Pharaoh got all of his wise men, sages, and the magicians together and told them to interpret the dream, but none of them knew what it meant. Then, all of a sudden, the cupbearer remembered that Joseph can interpret dreams.
Yes, it's about time you remember about him. Tell the Pharaoh. Tell the Pharaoh!
That's exactly what he did. Pharaoh called for Joseph to be brought before him and explained what the dreams were. In one dream, there were 7 fat, healthy cows standing by the Nile River. Then 7 skinny, ugly cows came out of the river and ate up the fat cows.
Hold on. Why are you giving me all the grief for my dreams? That was the weirdest dream I've ever heard.
The Pharaoh also dreamed that there was a stalk of wheat with 7 healthy heads of grain. Then 7 other heads of grain sprouted that were thin and sun-scorched, and they swallowed up the healthy grains.
Whoa, talk about weird dreams. Joseph's really got his work cut out for him, huh? What in the world did those mean?
God revealed to Joseph what the dreams meant, and he told Pharaoh everything. He said that there would be 7 years of plenty in the land of Egypt, with more than enough food for everyone. But after that, there would be 7 years of famine where there would be nothing to eat.
Whoa, that's pretty serious. So, what did Pharaoh do?
He was so relieved to know what the dreams meant. He was also so glad to know that the famine was coming in 7 years so everyone could start preparing and storing up food.
Awesome! But wait, what happened to Joseph? Please don't tell me he goes back to jail. If he goes back to jail, I'm just gonna start swinging.
No, he didn't go back to jail. The Pharaoh was so impressed with Joseph that he gave him a job. Pharaoh made Joseph second in command over all of Egypt.
What? Seriously? The big number 2? Second in command? That is awesome!
Yeah, man. The only person in the entire country with more power than Joseph was Pharaoh himself.
Man, that is pretty incredible. You were totally right about God having big plans for Joseph's life. Doesn't get much bigger than that.
No kidding. Joseph's life was totally changed. And it probably wouldn't have happened like that if he didn't notice the people around him back when he was in jail. And something else was about to happen that nobody expected.
Nice try. I see you coming a mile away. You're about to do another to be continued, aren't you?
I sure am. Bam!
Yep, I called it. Totally called it.
I wonder how many of you have made messes before. Maybe you tried to make cereal and you accidentally poured it all over the countertop, or you were at a restaurant and knocked over your glass, spilling the soda everywhere. We've all made messes before, and some messes are bigger than others. Like spilling a cup of water in the kitchen, not a big deal, but spilling a cup of paint onto the sofa, it's a huge deal. Messes aren't just something that happen at home or at a restaurant though. Sometimes our life can feel like a really big mess. It can feel messy when things just aren't going right. Sometimes our lives are more put together and going the way that we want, and other times they can feel like one big paint spilling on the sofa disaster. Joseph's life looks like one of those disastrous messes. Even inside of his own mess, Joseph went out of his way to help people in their mess. We see that he notices that something's wrong with the king's servants. He wasn't so fixed on his own mess that he couldn't see how other people were doing. He noticed and he helped. This sounds a lot like what Jesus said in John chapter 13:35. And this is what we should do too. We should notice and we should help. It's like this. We have people in our lives that we know their life might be a little messy. Maybe it's a friend, a kid in your neighborhood, a relative, someone at school, or someone you know from church. Maybe they're having trouble making friends. Maybe there's a lot of fighting in their home. Maybe they're not doing so well with this whole online school and church thing. Maybe their family's having money problems. Maybe there's sickness in their family. There are so many different opportunities, but I want you to think of it like this. If this was you, wouldn't you want someone to notice and help you with your mess? Of course you would. We all want someone to help us with our mess, but we don't usually help others with their messes. But we need to be more like Jesus. When we notice, we should help. Our memory verse says to love others like Jesus did, and this means we have to get in their mess to help. Jesus can expect that from us because he was the first one to do it. He looked down from heaven and saw our huge, disastrous mess, our mess of sin. And a sin is when we choose to do things our way instead of God's way. God sent Jesus to fix the mess himself. He noticed and he helped. Today, I want to challenge you to look up from your own mess, your own world, and start to notice other people. We need to help other people because Jesus helped us. It all starts with noticing. Jesus noticed you needed help, and he helped. There's someone with a mess that is waiting for you to notice them so that God can use you to help them. This week, would you put the excuse aside and notice them because, like our big answer says, I help others because Jesus helped me. Jesus came to clean up our mess, and because of sin, choosing to do things our own way, we aren't able to be a part of God's family, but Jesus took care of that. That's not the way God wanted it. All we have to say is that we're sorry and ask him into our hearts, and we can do our best to follow him. I'd like everyone to bow their head and close their eyes, and wherever you are, wherever you're watching, if you'd like to make your best friend and start following Jesus, would you repeat this prayer after me? Say, Dear God, I believe you sent your son Jesus to die on the cross for me. I'm a sinner and I'm sorry. Jesus, I give you my life. Be my Lord, be my very best friend. In your name I pray. Amen. Amen. Well, hey, we love you and we cannot wait to see you soon.
Welcome to Bible Trivia. This time we'll be asking questions about water. The first question for 100 points. At the Last Supper, what did Jesus wash? Was it A, his hands, B, the disciples' feet, C, the plates and cups, or D, the disciples' hands? The answer is B. At the Last Supper, Jesus washed the disciples' feet. The next question for 200 points. How long did it rain for during the flood that Noah experienced? Was it A, 150 days and 150 nights? B, 40 days and 40 nights? C, 30 days and 30 nights? Or D, 7 days and 7 nights? The answer is B. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights during the flood that Noah experienced. The next question for lots and lots of points. Who stepped out of a boat to walk on the water toward Jesus? Was it A, Andrew, B, Peter, C, James, or D, John? The answer is B. Peter stepped out of a boat to walk on the water toward Jesus. The next question for a total of 1/2 of a point. What kind of water did Jesus offer to the Samaritan woman? Was it A, fresh water, B, salty water, C, sweet water, or D, living water? The answer is D. Jesus offered living water to the Samaritan woman. The next question for 500 points. On what day did God create water? Was it A, the first day, B, the second day, C, the 5th day, or D, the 6th day? The answer is B. God created water on the 2nd day. The next question for a supercalifragilistic number of points. Jesus was baptized in the water of which river? Was it A, the River Jordan, B, the Dead Sea, C, the Sea of Galilee, or D, the Mediterranean Sea? The answer is A. Jesus was baptized in the water of the River Jordan. The next question for 1,000 points. Including Noah, how many people were kept safe in the ark? Was it A, 2 people, B, 4 people, C, 6 people, or D, 8 people? The answer is D. Including Noah, 8 people were kept safe in the ark. The next question for 12 points. How did Moses divide the Red Sea so the Israelites could cross over? Did he A, lift up his hands and shout aloud, B, strike the sea with his rod, C, walk into the sea and command it to stop, or D, lift his rod and stretch his hand over the sea? The answer is D. Moses divided the Red Sea so that the Israelites could cross by lifting his rod and stretching his hand over the sea. The next question for 800 points. Who did Pharaoh's daughter find hidden in a basket in the Nile River? Was it A, Noah, B, Moses, C, Elijah, or D, Joseph? The answer is B. Pharaoh's daughter found Moses hidden in a basket in the Nile River. And the last question for double your current points. Why did the Lord want to destroy man by flood? Was it A, because man was too strong, B, because man was too wicked, C, because man was too smart, or D, because man was too nice? The answer is B. The Lord wanted to destroy man by flood because man was too wicked. Thank you for playing Bible Trivia. We hope you'll play again soon.